To save the family, abolish marriage as a legal class or status. Don't get me wrong, I happen to be a Christian who believes in marriage as a religious institution. However, legislators and religionists often speak of saving marriage and ending out-of-wedlock births. A state legislator recently wrote, "Our laws need to favor childbirth and child raising within marriage and disfavor divorce and out-of-wedlock childbearing." And we, of course, also have to look at the tax code, which penalizes married couples. Wrong. Legislators and true church folk should know better. We don't need laws to favor child raising within marriage, but rather within or without marriage, by families. We already have those laws. We just need to enforce the fundamental right to be a parent. Wake up, it's the 21st century. I like to watch old movies. There are probably thousands where at some point in the movie a couple gets married by a justice of the peace or a ship captain, that is, by a government official. Like the African Queen, for example, there was a ship captain who married Humphrey Bogart and Catherine Hepburn. Does anyone ever ask the question, why do two people in love, at least nowadays, require the state to hold their hands and be the third party to their union or start of a family? That's done us a lot of good, hasn't it? 50% divorce rate. When are we going to grow up as a species and kick the state out of our most personal and private relationships, whether it's married or cohabitating, unmarried couples? Who is anyone to cast aspersions on what any couple decides to call their relationship? Do unmarried couples have less rights to parent their children than married couples? No. Marriage is a religious institution. Family, except for adoptive parents, is a biological institution of nature. And parents may or may not decide to be married in a church. That's their business. It's not the state's business. So let's speak of families and parental rights, not marriage, in regards to the law. We need a new paradigm. Families need protection, not marriages. Protecting families will, however, protect families of married couples. The state has no business requiring marriage licenses, regulating, granting tax benefits to, or punishing family members who decide to split up. But it does have a legal duty to enforce the fundamental constitutional right to be a parent to one's children. That's part of the pursuit of happiness and equality that the Declaration speaks of. This talk about saving marriage is ridiculous. If you really care about families, use the word family, not marriage, because not all parents decide to hold themselves out as married and should not need to in order for their parental rights to be enforced. Government officials should never need to utter the words marriage, married, or wedlock, etc., any more than they should use the words Buddhist, Hindu, Muslim, Catholic, Methodist, or atheist. We don't need tax benefits for families because sharing a living space is already an advantage enjoyed by families. That's the incentive to stay together. You split the cost of living. Tax benefits only let government into our private lives. All we need from government is enforcement of the right to parent, which enforcement is the primary disincentive to the breakup of families and all the benefits families need from government. Couples will then no longer be able to profit by breaking up a family when neither parent has committed any crime deeming him or her unfit to parent, as happens daily in our family courts of injustice. In a nutshell, here's the problem. The game family courts play is simple. First, dupe a parent, usually the father, out of his fundamental constitutional rights to due process, equal protection, presumption of innocence, and the right to be a parent. Unequal custody is the engine creating and perpetuating litigation and fees for attorneys and psychologists, as desperate parents throw money at the problem. Sole custody awards, quote unquote, also mean child support orders, one basis upon which states receive federal grant money. Additionally, the Violence Against Women Act promotes false accusations against men. Every state already had criminal statutes against assault prior to VAWA, the Violence Against Women Act. And men and women commit assault in domestic violence situations in nearly equal amounts. See Respecting Accuracy in Domestic Abuse Reporting. That's mediaradar.org to learn about domestic violence. And for a list of the violations of rights and crimes committed by family court judges, see my website, exilefathers.org/exposed. In a nutshell, here's the solution. It's simple. It's not complicated what we need to do to fix family courts. Number one, we need to end federal funding such as VAWA and Title 4D of the Social Security Act that promotes family destruction. Two, we need equal parenting for fit parents unless they agree otherwise. No parent should be deemed unfit except upon conviction by a jury of peers. No more unequal custody rulings by a single judge. Three, trial by jury in all cases that involve the fundamental constitutional right to be a parent, with the standard of proof as beyond a reasonable doubt, because denial of parenthood is no less serious than incarceration. Four, state-of-the-art electronic recording of all family court proceedings, cameras and voice-to-text software to automate transcripts in all courtrooms, and by allowing parties to use their own electronic recording equipment in court as a check on the court's recordings. There are cases where records have been altered. Just go to YouTube and put Deconstructing America in their search engine and watch that video. Deconstructing America. It's about alteration of court transcripts. And number five, we need to end the diversion of legal proceedings into witch hunts using court-ordered psychological evaluations of fit parents. They should no more order you into a psych eval than they should a family that's ever been to family court, or any more than they order you to attend the Methodist Church or the Catholic Church or any other church. Going to a psychologist should be your choice, not the court's. All this does is prolong litigation. It means more money for attorneys because there's going to be more court hearings to hear what the psychologist had to say. Additionally, the family needs an absolute divorce from government regulation and licensing requirements, which is a relic of centuries of collusion between church and state, from which our First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution is supposed to liberate us. Separation of church and state. Marriage is a religious institution. Government has no business dealing with it.